this is Rainey from Oh So Simply. Today we are going to be talking about a topic that I think is super exciting. What's in my nanny bag? First of all, a lot of people are going to be like, what's a nanny bag? It's really just my backpack that I take with me to the families that I nanny for. I call it a nanny bag because I want to be fancy, but it's just my regular old backpack. Really, it can be any bag that you carry around regularly. Well, I don't recommend that you carry your nanny bag around regularly because it is kind of full usually, but it can be any bag is my point. This is my current nanny bag and it is so cute. Anyways, this bag, I love it right now. It's kind of like a common popular style backpack where it's just like the main pocket and then there's one divider in there and then a little front pouch. So this particular black bag, I put some cute pens on it because I'm that kind of person. That bag I actually got when I was in Thailand. I was at the border between Thailand and Cambodia and I was at a big market and I was super excited when I found this bag because I've been wanting the name brand version of it for a really long time, but I got that one for $15. Still, I love my backpack. My nanny bag over time has been a lot of different kinds of bags. I sometimes even will switch them back and forth now, just depending on how much stuff I have to take with me and where we're gonna go. A lot of times when I'm with toddlers or school-aged kids, I have my backpack because they don't need a lot of stuff. I don't have to access it constantly. When I was with a baby recently, I took my tote bag, which is like a giant one big pocket tote bag. It kind of looks like a big purse or a big beach bag. Oh yeah, here it is. So I took this guy with me, which as you can see is like giant compared to my backpack, but I like that one because it's just an open top, so I can just like carry it on my shoulder and have the baby in one arm and then kind of reach around in there and get what I need. So I like that one better for babies. Use whatever bag you have. Don't feel like you have to go out and buy one. If you want to splurge and treat yourself, go for it. But here's what I usually put in my nanny bag. I also want to quickly preface it before I start the list. Nanny bags are going to be different for everyone. It depends on what area you live in, what the weather looks like, what kind of activities your kid goes to or does. It's also going to vary depending on the age of your child and what your personal preferences are and needs are for just kind of like what you would carry in your purse or in your backpack regularly. So, without further ado, first things first, I always have my nanny binder. In my nanny binder, there's a ton of stuff that I use regularly. It's kind of like all of my business things that I need, as well as information about the kids and the family. I always have my nanny binder with me. And then the next thing that I put in my nanny bag is suggestions, which sounds kind of vague, and it's not always a physical thing that's in it. But what I always take with me to any job is a plan and a plethora of information. This will come with time for those of you who are just starting out, but just having suggestions for products in the back of your mind or having those actual products that you like to take with you. For example, when I was going to a family for the first time and I knew that she was a new mom and I knew that she was kind of nervous, I took with me and I happen to have these things too because I've been nannying for a long time and I used to do nannying in my house. But I brought 3 bottles that I know worked really well with kids. I brought a pacifier that I knew worked really well with kids. And I even brought my Moby wrap, which is one of my favorite baby sling wraps to wear. And I brought those things because those are things that I know if she's still struggling to find bottles that work, because at the time the baby was only 2 months. And if she was struggling to pacify the baby and hadn't found a pacifier that worked, I knew that this one had worked before for me in the past. So of course I sterilize them all before I even take them, but then I usually sterilize them at the house too, just to put the mom at ease. And my Moby wrap. I know that babies usually love Moby wraps. I've never had a baby not like to be swaddled and held against me. So that's usually one of the first things that I do with them to calm them down when we're first kind of getting in the groove of a new schedule or they're first learning of me, like meeting me for the first time. I'll usually put them in there because they automatically feel secure. So those are a few things that I like to keep on me product-wise. Suggestion-wise or advice-wise, I like to have my advice suggestions that I take with me everywhere. And so what I mean is anything that I'm like, you could suggest this to the parent. Well, I have that in the back of my mind because I've been doing this so long, so that when they ask me a question or they're feeling hesitant or unsure about something, I can have an answer for them. Because as a nanny, you're not only providing care, but you're providing reassurance and comfort, not only for the kids, but for the parents, that they know you know what you're doing. So if you don't have that plethora of information just in the back of your mind all the time, then you can literally have like a document with some titles of my articles or maybe other YouTubers that you've seen that you really like, or like mom blogs that you love reading. Have that list of like, hey, these are my resources that I use. Be ready to be the advice giver. Okay, the next thing that's in my nanny bag is one of my favorites, and I've been carrying it around since my first nannying job ever, which are my basic craft supplies. In my basic craft supplies, I have Crayola markers, Crayola crayons, because I'm never giving a baby markers again. Made that mistake one time. Glue sticks, popsicle sticks, those can be used for basically any project ever. Beads and string for my older girls and boys, actually. A lot of my older boys like to make friendship bracelets just as much as my older girls. No judging. And then 1 or 2 actual baby toys, soft, plushy baby toys. I had one, I loved it. It was a Discovery Cube. It was soft and plushy, and it had like a bunch of exciting things. And then my other favorite thing that I like to bring, which you can get at Walmart for like $5. If I can find a link for it, I'll put one in. We call him Danny. Danny the dinosaur. Babies just think this is so exciting. I think the bright color, and then plus the little voice that I give him when I'm playing with him. I also prop this up behind their head sometimes as a pillow if they fall asleep in the car, or like on the side of their car seat. So Danny the dinosaur, he was like $5. He's great. I also like to squeeze him. Coloring pages, sometimes I'll print those off and put them in for my more autistic kids if I know that their older sibling has an activity that we all have to go to and they're going to be bored, then I'll bring something simple like that for them to do. Those are my basic craft supplies, art supplies that I like to have with me just in case I go to a house where they have nothing. It's very rare, but it happens. The next thing that I put in my nanny bag is a project. A lot of times, I personally love to bake. First of all, it helps them with their math, helps them with their colors, helps them with pretty much every subject in school ever, reading and everything, because I make them read the recipe. But also, I like to eat them and decorate them, and I think it's fun and creative. And usually the parents are super excited because they hate dealing with different color icings and glitter and the mess that comes from baking with kids. And of course, they get to eat the sweet treat, so they're usually down for that. Make them pay for the supplies. But if there's like an occasional supply that you know they probably don't have and you didn't have time to prepare for them to put it on their shopping list ahead of time, but you really want to do it, pack those things. So a lot of times I have sprinkles. That's kind of what I go with, sprinkles and different colored decorating icings, you know, like the tubes of decorating icing. I keep those in my bag because say they have everything to make sugar cookies. Well, now I have the icing and glitter. How much better did it just get, guys? Icing and sprinkles makes the world of difference. So yeah, I keep those in my bag pretty regularly. Basically, day by day, I'll look and see what I want to do with the kid that day, and sometimes I have to add supplies like that. Or one that I really like to do is make Play-Doh. It's really soft, and so it's good for the little ones because it's softer than regular brand Play-Doh. But I like making it, and so I'll usually include food coloring, and cream of tartar is one of the versions that I use. So I'll put those 2 things in my bag when I know I want to make Play-Doh, because they'll usually have flour and water, but they won't have those, and salt, but they won't have those 2 things. So I'll put those in my bag if I want to make Play-Doh and didn't give them a heads up about it. Those are projects that I will pack for day by day. It depends. Another example is shaving cream. A lot of my arts and crafts include shaving cream. It sounds weird, but it works. And so if I haven't warned them once again, or they put it on their shopping list, then I can make sure I have it. So things like that. The next thing I put in, hands down, should go in everyone's bag, is a first aid kit. Because kids fall, I fall, I'm super clumsy. Usually kids are pretty clumsy too, especially when it's summer and we're going to parks and water parks and things like that. So in there, I keep things like Band-Aids, Neosporin, alcohol swabs, sunblock in the summer, and aloe vera, just in case we do get a burn while we're out. I usually will keep some like children's Tylenol or Benadryl, some kind of children's pain reliever. I won't say I never, but I very rarely use it. I think I've used it like 2% of my nannying career, but I do like to have it on me, especially when they're teething. If I forgot their teething ring or I forgot their teething something or other, like having some teething numbing Oragel in your first aid kit, it's a must. So I always have that. And then of course, you guys, if you know me at all, you know I always have snacks. Snacks for me, because don't get me hangry while we're out in public with kids, because if they start melting down and I start melting down, it's a big mess. So snacks for me, and then snacks for them. I do pack snacks for them in my nanny bag. Sometimes I'll pull them from their house, most of the time. I pull them from their house. But sometimes I'll pack a snack for them from my stuff. Like if I know that they like Cheez-Its and I'm packing them for me, I'm gonna pack an extra bag for them because they're gonna see mine and want to eat mine, and then I'm not gonna want to share, and it's gonna be a deal. And then the last thing that I like to pack in my bag is kind of a list within a list. And this is one of the ones that I think is very up to personal preference. But I call it the nanny pack in my nanny bag. So it's like everything like in a pack that I have. Let me show you actually. So it varies depending on which one I grab. I'll use something like this, or like this little pouch, or like this pouch, which is a little bit bigger and waterproof. Usually I use this one because it doesn't get ruined. But basically that's like my nanny pouch inside of my nanny bag, and that means everything in there is only for Rainey. No kid needs to be seeing it, no kid needs to be touching it. They know you can go in the nanny bag, that's fine, because a lot of it is like their stuff, like their snacks, or if we're out and about, their toys go in there, whatever. But the nanny pouch, that's my stuff. We don't go in there. Because what's in there are literally things for me. My chapstick, ibuprofen in there in case I get headaches, which I don't want them having access to. My hair ties, my lotion, my hand sanitizer, my glass cleaner or extra pair of glasses if you're wearing contacts. My sunglasses go in there. Eye drops will go in there, my charger, my journal, my pens, my journal and pens. My pens do fit in here, and I do put them in here because I don't want nobody getting into my pens because they're special and expensive. But my journal doesn't always fit in here. Those kinds of things. Those are my Rainey pack things, my nanny pouch things. So you can have other things in there like your feminine products if you're having that, you know, go on, or just in case. I do also sometimes like to pack an extra shirt in my nanny bag, just in general, or an extra shirt, an extra pair of leggings, because Lord knows the inside of children happen on your clothes sometimes. It just happens. So having an extra pair of clothes, I usually have like a drawer at the family's house, but if it's so irregular of a job, then I'll put them in my nanny bag. That is basically everything in my nanny bag. Below will be a more organized list for those of you listening or watching. But that's it. Let me know down below what you put in your nanny bag. I know that there's so many different things that people like to carry. And let me know also if you have like the best nanny bag in the world, like backpack or purse or tote that you use. Link it down below because I'm always looking for new bags, especially as mine start to wear out. If you have any questions, per usual, stick them down in the comments below. Also subscribe and head over to our Patreon to see our Nanny Binder release, and that comes with a DIY video so that you can print it out and build it yourself. I help you build it yourself since we all have time to be building things. Thanks, and I hope this helped. I'll see you next Friday for my next video.